Hey everyone, I'm Ryan, the owner and operator of Feather and Finch Photography. I just want to talk about the camera equipment I use at weddings. I'm primarily a wedding photographer, but I also want to showcase all the personal camera equipment that I have. So first off, in no particular order, but wedding related, I shoot with Canon currently 5D Mark IVs, and I use two of them generally for a wedding. I shoot on a 35mm lens on one of my Canon 5D Mark IVs, and on the other one, a 50mm lens. Generally for the whole day, I'm using both of those lenses, but when it comes to kind of dance floor, party photos, I'm looking at like a 24mm lens just to give me that width, and so I can get a bit more of an atmosphere in. All right, so I want to talk about why I use Canon 5D Mark IVs and why I'm shooting on a 35 and 50mm pretty much for the whole day. Now, first off is how rugged they are. These things have gone through snow, mud, they've been dropped. They last, right? So I've definitely been tempted to go the Sony route because a lot of people jump to the mirrorless cameras. But for me, the ruggability of these and how ruthless I am with these cameras, it just seems to keep me with the Canon system. So that's why realistically I'm staying with the Canons. They do everything I need for the job. They're fast. I love the feel of them in my hands. A lot of the mirrorless systems for me just feel a little bit too digital or quite small. Obviously very similar to my Leica feel, but I like the ruggability of the Canon 5D Mark IVs. Now in terms of focal length, the 35mm is my 90% of the day camera lens. And the reason being is it makes me move. It's not so wide that I'm getting distortion from like a 24mm or anything wider, but it gives me the play to get in tight and not distort the image, or also pull back a little bit and get more of that landscape feel. So if I had to choose one camera lens to be with me forever, 35mm, 100% of the day. When I started in photography, I had the 70-200, I had the 24-70mm lens. And it was great when I started, but I became very lazy by sitting back and zooming and not moving, and that big white lens was just, it was too intrusive for me. I wanted to kind of sit in nice and comfortable and not really worry about having too many options. Now, the 50mm lens for me is amazing for portraits. This thing just, overall, it does everything you want. So the time I generally jump with the 50mm is if I need a bit more kind of movement at a ceremony, or I'm just trying to give that beautiful traditional portrait, because a lot of traditional cameras were a 50mm lens and it gives great images, and especially wide open, 1.2, nice and shallow, you're gonna get beautiful looking imagery. So 35 and 50mm lens, that's what I use. I don't see me changing to any other focal length anytime soon. But I definitely play with a 24mm lens during portraits if I have time, but that's generally, like I said, mainly my dance floor lens choice. So that's wedding cameras. Now accessories for weddings, I generally only take one Canon speedlight. So this is a 600 EX RT. I don't use it often, but probably just for pretty much dance floor photos. Shoot this directly on the dance floor. That's it. Other great accessories, Pelican case, so this just houses SD cards or CF cards. Obviously keep this with me so I don't lose this, and a Western Digital wireless SSD. So after the wedding, I put in my SD card in here and it backs everything up. So once I get into the office, I already have a safe backup. That's pretty much it for my wedding equipment. Now in terms of bags and what I take at weddings, depends how long I'm shooting. If I'm shooting for a full day, I'll take the Hold Fast Moneymaker. This is a skinny moneymaker. This allows me to have two cameras hanging off me at all times, and that's generally from ceremony onwards. Earlier through the day, when I'm only wanting one camera, I'll use the Hold Fast again, the single solo strap. So this allows me to have a camera just slung off to one side, and that's for probably 50% of the day. I prefer shooting on one camera. When we get into ceremony, I like having the two cameras. In terms of bags, again, if it's a big wedding day, I'll take the Romographer by Holdfast. All of my camera equipment fits in here, including some personal stuff, all my film photography, and it's all sectioned off as well. It's an amazing duffel bag. can actually remove the insert so you can use it as a duffel bag as well. And if it's a smaller elopement, or I kind of got to hike or take some stuff with me, or leave some stuff back, I'll take the Sightseer by Holdfast. Now this is just a simple, beautiful bag. I normally sling this and then have one camera on the other side. So they're the two bags that I generally take, depending on the job. Now in terms of personal work, I shoot film photography generally at weddings. So in terms of staying on the wedding realm, I'll take a Canon EOS 1V to a wedding. This is just 35mm film. So this kind of goes with my wedding stuff. If I have space or I'm not traveling too far, internationally I generally leave most of my film stuff at home because, as you can see, it starts adding up. A Polaroid camera, this thing's been dropped a few times. This is just a Fujifilm Polaroid camera. Just fun for the dance floor. I generally take that again to weddings. So this is the wedding stack over this side. Now let's talk about personal stuff. So my personal camera and my go-to every day is my Leica M6. This is my baby. It's 35mm film. I've got a 35mm lens on it, just like I use at the weddings, but this is all manual, and I enjoy shooting film because it slows me down. With my work-related stuff, it's all about obviously the processes and speed, but yeah, this is my personal thing that I photograph my family and all that on. And then my masterpiece is my Rolleiflex 2.8F. This is medium format film, 120. It's got a waist level viewfinder. It's funky, it's slow, it's expensive to shoot, but it's fun. So sometimes this does come along to weddings with me, but most of the time I'm leaving both the Leica and Rollie at home for those other occasions where I want to shoot personal work, and all of that stuff there is all my equipment. So that's all of my camera equipment. If you want to see any more of my work, you can head to Instagram, Feather and Finch Photography. You can also head to my website, www.featherandfinchphotography.com.au, and also have a podcast, escapingtheordinary podcast.com. So hopefully speak to you guys soon.